So, moving on, working harder, longer, slower, getting less results. So I'm working inside my house here, and I'm going to use two windows, and I've got three 12-inch squeegees here. I could be working outside, I could be working on a number of different windows, but because it's blustery and cold and often it's raining outside, it's best for me to film inside. Now these windows are seal-less or concealed, rubber sealed windows. Very easy to work on really, very smooth against the edges, but I could be working on oxidized frames or any type of rubber sealed windows, as long as the windows are not like sandpaper rough, then I will be pretty much always using a liquidator on every type of window. It doesn't matter what window it is, doesn't matter what the temperature is outside, I'm always going to stick to a liquidator. Depending on what type of work that I'm working on, will depend on what handle I'm using, but I'll always, you know, for normal standard work like this, use a normal handle here that's been modified, as in flattened out. So this is what a normal squeegee looks like, and here this is about a 35 or 32 and a half probably standard angle that most squeegees work on. So ranging from 32 and a half to 35 degrees, and then with the bigger handles 40, like ledger type handles or Sorbo handles or wide body handles, that kind of thing. But you get some wide body handles now that are 30 degree. So I've got these two pieces of equipment here. Was something that one of my customers gave me a couple of weeks ago. Very cheap for just domestic sort of work. I've got an old Etui squeegee there, and I've got my liquidator modified handle squeegee there. They're all 12 inches. Let's put a little bit more soap on here. Thankfully at the moment we've got some sunshine, so we can actually see the solution. Let's just take this off, rub it in, put a bit more water on there, rub that in again. There we go, that's better. Right, so the solution's all rubbed in. And what we're going to do is just compare all three squeegees. And we're going to time it on my watch, and we're going to see how long it takes for me to do the window 100%. I've got my detail rag here. For two squeegees I'm going to have to fix mistakes, detailing, and possibly, especially with this rubber here, might get some turn marks, some problems closing out, and also you know, just skips over the glass because the rubber is not really good quality. It's a very hard rubber, not soft at all. So we're going to time it, we're going to see how long it takes me to clean the glass 100%. That includes the detailing with two of the squeegees, so to see how long and how hard and how slow, and at the end what the results are left over, and it's all going to be done on a timer. So very straightforward. Two windows here, three squeegees here. We're going to use the same technique. I could be working anywhere in the world, but I'm working right here on these windows, just for the benefit of the camera, and the sound will be a lot better inside than outside because it's very blustery outside. So let's start the clock, and we're going to start with the Etui squeegee. So we're going to soap up first, and we're all going to try and go for the same technique every single time. We'll close out to the bottom there, and I'll probably have to close out to the side on this window because the squeegee will be hard to close out at the bottom, just because of that extra hook that I've got there. But I'm going to get less residue closing out to the side on these particular windows than I would closing out, because I'll definitely have some closing out issues closing out here, because the rubber will just skip. So I've got 43 seconds there, and I wasn't working particularly fast, but I've got 100% detail, complete detail done with the cloth. So let's put that over there. Let's restart the clock and we'll start again, and we'll use this cheap version of the Squeegee, but I'm going to try and get the window done. You can see the smears here on this particular Squeegee. It's not a good Squeegee to work with, very cheap, very ineffective. Let's close out to the bottom. See what I mean by this jumping? Right, let's fix all these mistakes. So I'm actually working harder with this Squeegee than I did with the Etare, just because it's just a less quality Squeegee. So there I've got 40 seconds. Right, so this is a modified handle. It's going to benefit me. I'm going to work less hard and get more effect just because of the handle. I could use any channel from there in there, and I'm going to get benefit because I've modified that handle to work at a more optimum range, especially with closing out. But I've got a liquidator, so that means I'm going to eliminate all the detailing as long as I put it in the right place at the right time. The only thing that can go against me is if I make a mistake. So that's always possible. I'm not perfect, like anybody else. I make mistakes, but I minimize my mistakes by being calculated and just knowing what I should be doing 2-3 steps ahead of where I am currently on the glass. So let's start the clock, let's sew completely the window up, and let's go for that same kind of fanning motion. Close out to the bottom, and I'm going to close out to the bottom again, because that is the best way of working on this particular window. I got 19 seconds. Right, every single window frame needed detailing, but I never incorporated that, so we're just working on the glass time. So I just worked double the speed, and I worked less hard, but working at the same kind of pace with this tool than I did with these two tools. Now I could put a load of other tools down here, and unless I don't modify them, the channel with a handle could be any tool that's 12-inch. If it's not a liquidator and a modified handle, it doesn't matter if you've self-modified the channel, it's not going to perform as good as a liquidator. No tool is going to allow me to work twice the speed but easier. No tool is going to allow me to do that. So again, working harder, longer, slower, getting less results is what I achieved with these two tools here on these two simple to do windows. This outperformed. My knowledge, my skill helped me outperform, but I was working very similar to with these other tools, but I was just working at a much less ability. I'm less able to do and get results from these two tools here, but they could be any tool. If they're not this tool and a modified handle, I'm going to work longer, harder, slower, and I'm going to get less results.